Hey, running friends. Welcome to the Wrinkled Runner podcast. I'm Sherry, the Wrinkled Runner. I'm over 50 and I love to run wherever I go, but Buffalo, New York is my home. If you are looking to start to run or you're an older runner, this podcast is especially for you, so subscribe now. I love to help people get running and keep running. Today we are finishing up our mini-series on the top 10 most popular whatevers from the podcast, blog, and YouTube outlets from me, the Wrinkled Runner. Last week we covered the blog, and the first week was the podcast. Today we're going to go over the top 10 YouTube videos. It's interesting how each outlet attracts different kinds of runners. So each outlet has a different makeup of who searches for what. So things that I cover on all three platforms may be number one on the YouTube channel, but that same topic won't even be in the top 15 of the blog or podcast and vice versa. So all that to say, if you are interested in running and you're only listening to the podcast, see the other outlets that I have, the YouTube channel and over on the blog. And there may be some things, especially in these top 10 lists, that you may be interested in that I'm not covering on the podcast or didn't hit in the top 10. So go ahead and check those out. There is some overlap though, and our number 10 for today with the YouTube videos also showed up as a top 10 in last week's list from the blog. So I'm talking about rest and recovery for the runner. Recovering from our running is an important step in building up our running fitness, and we're not going to get anywhere without it. So make sure you are keeping your easy days easy and keep your rest days in your plan. And if you need to take an extra one, you're going to go a long way in preventing injury. So if you feel like you're aching and you're exhausted and your legs feel heavy, you may need to take an extra rest day so that you're fresher when you do start your training again. If you're an older runner, finding resources online can be a little harder for ones that are specific to us. So number 9 is my video on resources for the older runner. I did a podcast episode on it as well, and I'll link to that too so that you can listen to it if you prefer. I'm not much of a virtual racer, and even though those types of races exploded during 2020 and into 2021, it wasn't something that I was too keen on doing. I did find a virtual challenge site, though, called Conqueror Challenges, and these are set up based on famous places around the world. So since I lived in Japan for a bit and could see Mount Fuji from my apartment and even ran a half marathon near the base of it, I picked the Mount Fuji Challenge. When you compete any of these challenges, you get a really nice medal. It's very hefty and really, really pretty. If you don't race, this is something that you can do for yourself and still get a medal out of it. So I used it for motivation during those times when all the races were shut down, when I didn't feel like doing the virtual race. Number 7 is all about running language. We definitely use some terms that can be confusing or don't make sense for those of us who are just starting out. So if there are things that you hear and don't have a clue, watch the video or listen to the podcast episode and learn what some of these things mean. And also, if you hear something and can't find what it means, just send me an email and I'll help you out. On the YouTube channel, I like to do recipes once in a while. Now, they're not professional by any stretch, but I do have a lot of fun doing them. Most of the outtakes I post are mostly from recipe videos. There's an energy bar for runners that I make at home all the time from the book Finish Line Fueling by Jackie Decos. I love the taste of these bars, and everyone from my husband to my 1-year-old granddaughter love them as well. This recipe video comes in at number 6, and if you like to fuel with real food or haven't tried to do that, take a look at this video and make the recipe. Along with number 6 is number 5, which is my Run Fast, Cook Fast, Eat Slow review. This book has loads of information and recipes that I love to cook up for a family, even if they're not runners. The Garmin Pace Pro strategy is a feature on Garmin watches that can help you stay on track in races or on training runs. You enter some information and it gives you a strategy and tells you if you're going too fast or too slow, which can be a lifesaver in races that you may be tempted to start out too fast at. Now, like I said before, the Run Fast, Cook Fast, Eat Slow Runners cookbook by Shalane Flanagan and Elise Kopecky is full of great recipes. One that I like to make when my vegetarian daughter-in-law comes over is their veggie pasta salad, and she and I create that for you in the number 3 video. We had a ton of fun making this video, and I'm also going to link you to the outtake video so that you can see how much fun and how much got cut from the actual recipe filming. Strength training is important for us as runners, and we are also really good at ignoring it or only focusing on it for a short period of time before we just kind of throw it to the wayside. I show you in the number 2 video how to view strength routines, again on your Garmin if you have one. Those of you who don't, I did do a podcast episode on running watches if that is something you're interested in getting at some point. The number 1 video is my tutorial and review on using, again, your Garmin. This one is for using the Garmin coaching feature. If you get your plans off the internet and want a little bit more of a personal coaching experience, the watch gives you 3 coaches to choose from and can guide you to a 5K, 10K, or half marathon. Even if you don't have a watch, if you're thinking of getting a coach, I will link you to the podcast episode where I talk about what to look for if that interests you too. A coach is not just for elite or fast runners. And so we are done. While there is some overlap, the past few weeks gives you 30 different ways that I share what I know about running with you. Check out some of the avenues, and if you have any questions about anything, you can contact me and I will get back to you. This week's running website is the Conqueror Events. If you are needing a challenge to get you through the winter, you may really enjoy doing this. You get a gorgeous medal at the end, like I said before, and there are enough to choose from to keep you running for a very long time. You could accumulate quite a stash of medals, actually, without ever running a race. You can find the link to their website in the show notes and also links to all the content that I did on this particular website. I show you my medal in the YouTube video, so go check out what you could be earning. Next week, we'll be leaving 2021 behind and talking about running safety from many different angles. For a lot of us who run in the winter, there are even a few more considerations this time of the year. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you know another runner who could benefit from today's topic, go ahead and share it. Do you have any running questions? You can ask me. Email me at sherry@wrinkledrunner.com, and if I can't answer your question, I will do the research to find the answer and share it with you. The questions I get from listeners like you help me develop episodes, so please don't be shy. You can sign up for my once-a-month newsletter using the link provided so that you can have all the Wrinkled Runner resources from the past month all in one place. I also have opened up my virtual coaching in addition to coaching one-on-one with those in the Buffalo, New York area. So head to my coaching page on the Wrinkled Runner website, which I will, of course, link to, and check out how we may be able to work together. Until next Monday, thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the run.